In today's video, guys, we are going to see how we can create this anime water shader inside the Blender with help of geometry nodes. Okay, let's get in. We have the water shader itself. As you can see, we have the water and we have the caustics behind it, okay? Because we have two layers of this water shader, okay, to give a parallax effect. We have the foam, this white foam. Basically, the white foam is based on the geometry. This complete setup is based on the geometry. If you have a good geometry, a good amount of geometry, you will have a cleaner, decent result. And also we have displacement, okay? This water shader has displacement, guys, okay? With the foam. If the foam moves, the displacement moves. And the foam and the displacement is restricted into a certain areas, okay? So the foam and displacement isn't affecting the whole thing, okay? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create the water itself and the rocks, okay? These stuff, I will provide them in the link in the description, or the whole file is going to be in the link in the description, the first link, okay? You can go to my Patreon or Gumroad and support this channel, guys, to keep creating more and more high quality content for you. And thank you so much. And here we are, guys. We are in a fresh Blender scene. I'm going to start by selecting everything by hitting A and then X and delete. I'm going to start by Shift A, adding mesh plane, okay? Now in the outliner tab, you can see we have the collection. We are going to name it plane, okay? And press C to add another collection. I'm going to call it foam. And in this foam collection, I'm going to add Shift A, add UV sphere, and then scale it a little bit, and then right click and shade smooth, and then Ctrl A to apply all the transforms. So the scaling should be 1 to 1 to 1 to 1, okay? And then let's select the plane and go to Geometry Nodes tab. Right here, as you can see, the spreadsheet in the top here, right click and close area. And now press the new button here and call it Water Shader. So now I'm going to explain everything step by step. Maybe we can go full screen here. As I told you in the beginning of this tutorial, this effect is based on the geometry. So that means when I need to increase the geometry, I need to subdivide the plane. So how can we do that? You will tell me we need to go to edit mode and subdivide the mesh. You're correct, but this is destructive workflow. It's so destructive to just go to edit mode and subdivide it. So need something non-destructive, okay, non-destructively. So to do that, we are going to remove that group input here, and I'm going to add, instead of that plane, a grid, okay? The grid is acting as a plane, but it is procedural, so that means we can play with its scale and also resolution. Resolution, we can go to the wireframe viewport, and as you can see, it is increasing. To control all of these in a single socket here in the modifiers tab, we can add the size X and the size Y into the same place and open up the end menu or the side menu and rename that scale, and do the same for the vertex X and Y and name it resolution. And now, as you can see in the modifiers tab, we have the scale and we have the resolution. I'm going to increase the scale into 5 or 4 meters, and then the resolution, we are going to start with 50. Okay, nice. Now we need the data from that intersection so we can add foam and displacement. So now we need to create the foam itself. So we need to extract the data from the intersection, because the intersection of the sphere and the plane gives us, I don't know how to explain it, but something that goes around this sphere, which is the distance between the sphere and the intersection, and you know, some stuff, weird stuff. I'm going to do that visually. Let's drag and drop the foam collection into the geometry nodes tab here, and then I'm going to connect the foam collection into the group input so we can play with it in the modifiers tab and take its relative position. Okay, let's explain that. It's a good point to explain that. Okay. So when I'm going to add anything here, it will take the relative position, which means when I move that, the modifier here will recognize that movement, okay? But if I took the original positioning here, or scaling, or any data, the original data I would call it, okay? Whenever I place that boy here, it only will take the original data here that was in the middle of that world, okay? So we don't need that, because I'm going to add many stuff, maybe a rock in here, and one here, and a lot of stuff. So to do that, guys, I'm going to take the relative position. Okay, and now we need to take the data of the intersection here. So to do that, we need a geometry proximity node. Okay, and plug the instances into the geometry. Okay, I know there is something weird, but let's continue, and the end I will show you how to fix that. Okay, and to visualize that, we need a map range or a color ramp, one of them. Okay, and plug the distance into the value. Okay, and now we can see that Control Shift and left click, and here also Control Shift left click, and as you can see, we can see nothing. Okay, what's happening? We can see an eye here, which tells us instances in input geometry are ignored. Okay, that means the geometry proximity can't work with instances, so we need a single object. The geometry proximity work with single objects, not instances. Okay, so which means if I added the sphere itself without its collection, does it work? Let's see. Yup, it is working. So we need to turn these instances into single objects. To do that, we need a node called realize instances node. And this node, what this node does is calculated each instance and turn it into a single object. And this is a data, okay, taking the data of each instance and turn it into single object data. And okay, you know what I mean, okay? Anyways, it's hard to explain, by the way. So now we have the result, as you can see, but it is flipped. This is not what we want. We need the black to be outside and the white inside. Okay, so to do that, we can just flip the 2min into 1 and 2max into 0. And this is the overall effect. But it is so intensive, so to reduce it, we can add another map range, but to make it easier for us to store this data later on, I'm going to use a color ramp, okay? And plug the result into the factor, and then the color into the empty socket of the group output. Okay, and now we have the color data, okay? This color data is stored right now, but we need to give it a name. So output attributes, we have the color, which is this color here. So we are going to name it color, okay? Now we need to go as well onto the object itself data, which is in here, color attributes, and we can add another color attribute and call it color, and make sure it is sets to black. Okay, the color here is black, and hit OK. Now we're good to go. Okay, now we have the foam stored. Okay, the foam data stored. Okay, let's play now with this thing here, so it's not intensive. Okay, you can see the resolution is too low, so maybe I'm going to increase it to 200, as I did for my original my original file. Okay, so now let's add a set material node, and we can take the original cube material. Okay, now we can go to the shading workspace and select the material. Okay, nice. Now we need to see if the color that we stored in the geometry nodes is working here in the shading workspace. So we need the color attribute, and we can select our color attribute. Now we can see it, and definitely it is stored. Nice. Now we need to turn it into a foam. Okay, it's going to work right now like a foam. Okay, basically if I added any object, for example, maybe a UV sphere, another UV sphere, and move it into here. Okay, as you can see, it is working perfectly. Okay, nice. But we need to turn it into something stylized, like an anime water shader. So to do that, I'm going to add a value node, and I will tell you what this value node will do. If I mix those or add those together with a math node, okay, as you can see, we need to give it a driver, so hashtag frame and divide it by 150. Okay, watch this value node keep going and going and going into the white areas. So this thing is going to turn into a mask. So we will see later on with when we will add something to distort this foam. Okay, I need I need I need a timeline and go back into 0. Okay, so to distort this shape or this mask, we need a texture coordinate and a mapping node and connect the object coordinate into the vector here. And we need a mix color, okay? Mix color and leave it as mix and mix the mapping and this combination of color attribute and the value node. Okay, nice. And we need a noise texture and plug the color into the vector here. And now we need to add a matte node again and plug the color into here and the color of that into here. Or you can take the factor, one of them. Okay, and as you can see, the effect is working. We need to turn it into multiply, so it is multiplying. Okay, so the effect is only going to work in the area of the mask, okay, that we stored in the geometry nodes. Okay, we can play with each scale and detail here. We can turn the scale maybe way up and detail maybe a 1. Okay, we can add a color ramp in here and another one here. Okay, we can turn that into constant and we are going to see the effect. Yep, this is the effect that we want. Okay, nice. And this color ramp here will control the noise texture itself. Okay, as you can see, we have this stylized foam, and as you can see, it is now moving. It is animated. Now we're done with the foam itself, guys. Okay, we can plug the foam into the emission, so we need to open up the emission tab. Let's go full screen with control and spacebar and connect the color into the color. By the way, all these shortcuts that I'm doing is on my ebook, so link in the description, guys. Okay, my ebook is great. Let's wait for that. Yeah, it is white. Okay, why I'm waiting? It is black. It is white, sorry. And we need the strength to be 1. And as you can see, this is the foam. The foam is working. And it is based on the geometry. So let's lower down the geometry to 100 and see the effect. The effect is still working. Okay, nice. Maybe 50. Still working. 100 is safe. It's safe to me. Yeah, it is pretty good. Now we need to create the parallax effect. So we need another material, and let's call this one parallax. Okay, and the other one we will name it water. Okay, just to remember each material. So now let's go back to geometry nodes and let's create that thing. And I'm going to plug this thing here. Oh, sorry. Let's create a reroute and let's create another grid with Ctrl Shift and D. Okay, and remove this thing. And this one is going to be good. Okay, tree is going to work, or just, yeah, tree. Leave it as tree. Okay, and now we need to join geometry here for that. Oh, sorry, after that. Okay, so we don't need it to be affected with this material. And let's duplicate the set material and select the parallax effect material. We can go to the the material preview here, so we can see. And we need a transform geometry after that set material. Okay, and now let's play with the translation or the positioning of that plane and lower it down here. Maybe this amount is going to work. Okay, and now let's get back to the shading workspace and let's continue on creating our water effect or water shader. And as you can see, the colors isn't great, so we need to go to the render properties and then color management and make sure we are in standard. Cool, and leave it as default, none here on the look. We can go medium contrast, by the way, okay, which is similar to none, okay. Leave it as none, is going to work, okay. Later on, we are going to play with the exposure or gamma. If we need, maybe we can do that in Photoshop or Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. So let's play with the alpha and go to the material properties and then go down into here. You can see the settings. The blend mode should be alpha blend, and the shadow mode should be none. So it's not going to cast any shadows to the below surface. Okay, right now it is working. Let's go and switch to the parallax material and let's create the parallax effect. We need a Voronoi picture in the color ramp. Okay, connect that into that. The distance is going to give us, okay, this thing, which is most likely like you know, like parallax effect or Costex. Okay, just leave it as it is. Okay, so it is cool. I have no idea, but it is working. The detail should be 0, and the scale, we can play with its scale. Okay, something like so. And let's turn that into 4D. And now we can add a hashtag frame and divide it by 100. Okay, so it is going to move. Or let's do 200, maybe 300, maybe 400. Okay, that's too much. Yeah, 400 is going to be okay. Let's see that. Ooh, nice. It is crazy. Okay, nice, nice, nice. I need that to be kind of green. Okay, that thing maybe something like so. Just, you know, something maybe. I have no idea. Is it going to work? Yep, it is. So why not? Let's make sure this is also sets to alpha hashed and none. Okay, and we can play with its alpha also here. But okay, need to plug that into here and also into the emission, and make sure this one is set to 1 as well. And we can see some noise because of this alpha here, just to control the effect itself. Okay, but it is working, and that's the overall effect. Okay. Okay, now we need to add some stuff. Okay, let's go back to the main shader here. We need it to be fully reflective. Okay, and we can add some displacement. Let's go and add a noise texture. Okay, and the color ramp. The noise texture and the color ramp is your friend in Blender. Connect the color into the factor, and then we need a bump node. Connect the color into the height, and then the normal into the normal. And just wait for a second to load or compile the shaders. Okay, nice. Play with the scale. Okay, it is working. Nice. We can add a texture coordinate and mapping node, so we can distort it a little bit. We don't need to play with the distortion here, so we need to play with its scale. Maybe, yeah, the X. Let's play with the detail a little bit. Okay, maybe a little bit. Okay, and play with the strength to be saddle, not that intensive at all. Okay, something like so. And later on, I'm going to go back to geometry nodes and do the displacement as I told you in the beginning of this tutorial. Okay, now let's do something else and add some flakes here, some white flakes. So to do that, another noise texture, or we can copy this stuff here. Shift and D. Sorry, we duplicated this thing. Select the noise texture. Press on the backspace button to reset. Make sure everything is reset. Okay, and we can add a mix color and plug it into here, and make sure it is set to add. Okay, so we can add the flakes with that thing. Okay, make sure to save your project. Okay, I'm going to save it here. Okay, and now switch it to add as I told you. Make sure it is set to 1. Okay, set it to 1, and connect the color into the socket B. Okay, just wait for the shaders to compile. If you have a slower CPU, this will happen. Okay, so just wait. And now we can turn that into constant and wait for the shaders. Oh my god, I'm going to wait a lot of time here. Okay, nice. I need it to be something like this. Play with the scale. So we have a small flakes all around this area. Okay, This scale here should be 1. Okay, I didn't reset the mapping node. Okay, as you can see, the flakes is done here, which is cool. We can add some effects. I saw the code or clear code will add some kind of thing. I have no idea. Controls the intensity of the coat layer, both the reflections and the tinting. Typically should be 0. Okay, let's read that. Should be 0 or one of physically based materials. Okay, let's get a tint of green. Okay, it's blue but it is green. Okay, with the clear coat. Okay, cool. I like that. Okay, nice. We have the sheen. We can add the sheen as well, but I don't know. Okay, let's do the displacement. Let's save that. Now let's do the displacement. To do that, we can do the displacement just for this layer, not the underneath. Okay, and as you can see, each layer has its own resolution, which is great. So we have some optimized scene here. We need a set position node. Okay, and now let's do the stuff. We can add a combine XYZ node, and we need a mix color. Set that mix color into multiply, and then connect the result into the Z value and connect that into the offset. Okay, plug the color of that color ramp from that setup here, plug it into the color A. Okay, which we have that effect. We can add another color ramp here so we can control it without affecting the result of that color. Okay, this is so intensive. Okay, let's distort that with the noise texture. Okay, let's make this thing gray. Okay, plug the factor into the color bay. Okay, we need to see that here. Okay, to see that. Okay, let's give it again this thing. We need to add a gradient texture and plug the color into the vector. So we are going to distort that noise in a spherical in a spherical order. Okay, it is working, and yep, it is working, guys. I'm going to add a matte node here. Okay, and plug that into the Z, and let's see that. Okay, this multiply node here. Okay, sorry, we are going to multiply it, and let's play with the effect. Okay, nice. We need more resolution, guys. We need more resolution for the effect to work perfectly. Okay, wait. Yep, this is working perfectly. Okay, nice. Just leave it as it is. Now we are just going to go to the noise texture and turn it into 4D, and then add the hashtag frame and divide that by 100. Okay, and as we can see, this is displacement. And let's add now set shade smooth. Okay, for everything. Okay, set shade smooth. Okay, and it is working. And as you can see, this is the effect. It is too big, so we are going to control it a little bit. Okay, and maybe ease. Okay, or B-spline. B-spline is going to work. B-spline. Yep, B-spline it is fading a little bit. Yep, this is it. Okay, it's not too much, it's not too low, it is good. You can play with that scale of that noise texture, by the way, but also the detail, and you are going to get more cooler results. Okay, nice. It is working and it is cool. We're done with the water shader. If you want to continue, guys, I'm going to save this thing, and let's create the rock as I told you in the beginning. So to do that, I'm going to hide all of these and add a new collection and call it rocks. So I'm going to start with Shift A and adding an icosphere, and we can pump up the subdivisions a little bit, maybe here, like 4 is going to work, and then add the subdivision surface. Okay, crank up this thing and shade it smooth, and let's add the displace modifier. It is so heavy, so we are going to reduce that thing. Let's add a Voronoi and take the distance squared and play with the intensity and play with the size as well. Okay, Big size will gives us this stuff here. Okay, for example, like so. Nice. Maybe something like this. We can just play with some of these values here. I don't know what what these stuff do, but they are giving us some, okay, some weird stuff. Okay, this is kind of like a rock, okay, I believe. So 0 here. Okay, nice. Okay, I have no idea, but it is working. What this thing do, I have no idea, but it is giving us some details. Okay, that is good. That is pretty good, okay, for a rock. And we can apply that and apply that subdivision. Okay, sorry, we need to apply the subdivision before that. Okay, like so. And we have so much geometry. Okay, we can just now we can just scale it. Okay, scale on the x-axis a little bit. Okay, to add, you know, it's distorted a bit, but it is good to go. And I'm going to go to geometry nodes. And before that, let's add a material. Let's create its own material. Okay, rock. This is kind of an advanced rock material, okay, or an advanced rock itself. So let's move that up a little bit. We don't need that thing. Let's remove it. Okay, this thing is always hiding somewhere. So to unhide it, just move it like so. Don't move it because you don't find it. If you don't find it, just click anywhere with your left mouse button and then right click and then find principal PSTF and it will appear. Okay, now I'm going to add a noise texture. Okay, and the color ramp, plug that into here, and then select the rock material or the rock colors and plug them into here. We can visualize that and see. Yep, this is it. Okay, and just play with that thing until you see something cooler. Okay, we can duplicate that and take some mossy colors here and there. Okay, and multiply that. So let's multiply that over that. See that fully white, and let's overlay that. Okay, it's too dark. Maybe something like so. Make sure it is maybe B-spline. Okay, that is good. Let's play with the details here and roughness also. You can see some weird stuff happening, which is cool. Nice. And let's plug the result into the base color. And we need to add some moss on the top of that rock. So to do that, I'm going to jump into geometry nodes and let's add moss here. Okay, let's go moss. So to select just the top area, we are going to use geometry node because it is the simplest thing to do. Okay, we can use we can use just a gradient texture. Okay, so I'm not going to make it complicated. Okay, so thank you, sorry. Okay, anyways, I'm sometimes I go crazy, so don't worry about that, guys. Okay, as you can see, we have the selection, but it is kind of rotated, so rotate it. Okay, we need the opposite, or it is the opposite. Okay, just play with that. Okay, we can add a color ramp. And make it something like so with B-spline maybe. Okay, cool, crazy, nice. And we can add a max color and set that to multiply, and we can add a noise texture. Okay, and reset that and connect that into here. Okay, and we can multiply that. Okay, we can add the color mapping node and the texture coordinate here. We can play with the details here and there. So we have the moss is going on top of the area, and turn that into color data with the color ramp, and let's mix that with that. Okay, and make sure this thing is reset to the okay, and let's take the moss color, and yeah, this is the moss as I said, and as you can see, this is the effect here. Okay, yeah, pretty simple and pretty cool. But we can't add, okay, that is the worst thing to do with only the shader editor. Okay, let's add a bump node. Okay, it's weird. Okay, I know it's weird, but let's do that. Let's plug that into the normal. Next time I will use geometry nodes. Okay, guys. So yeah. Oh, that is amazing. Okay, that is working. That is fully amazing. Okay, that I like it, guys. Oh my god. Save that before it goes. What is that? Okay, I guess that is based on that. Yeah, it is a 8-bit resolution, so I have no idea why is Blender is on 8-bit. So anyways, this is the rock, guys. We can now move it into our layout. Let's turn on every single thing here. Let's go back to shading and let's put okay, sorry. Let's press Shift D, okay, and move that into the scene collection, okay, and hide that. What is that? Okay, that is the sphere. Okay, nice. Okay, let's hide that sphere. We don't need it. Okay, let's put that into the foam collection. Okay, the sphere, turn it off. Okay, so now as you can see, let's play the animation and see. Okay, as you can see, oh my god, I like that. Okay, and this is the shader with its rocks. Okay, I like that. Okay, I mean, I really like that. It is amazing, guys. It is fully amazing. I like it so much. And thank you guys for watching. I hope this thing was really cool. Okay, I can't go further because this recording took a long time. So maybe in the future I will remake that thing from scratch and do it in another way. And thank you guys for watching. Salam.